So I bought this. Let me show you around. So I bought a caravan. Let me rephrase that. So I bought a really run-down caravan that needs a lot of work. If you are new here, my name is Kim and I vlog a variety of lifestyle, family and travel content. Something a bit different today. I had this idea, this crazy idea a couple of weeks ago, literally just a couple of weeks ago, that I would get a caravan and do it up and it would become a multifunctional space. So like a spare office, actually slightly bigger than the office that we share upstairs. A space where the kids could hang out, or where we could hang out, where we could watch movies, chill out, potentially take on the road. That's not the main objective. But this was my idea, and I've been like keeping an eye. I'm kind of, is this a weird position? I've been keeping an eye on Facebook Marketplace for like the past couple of weeks, getting an idea of prices. I didn't want to spend a great deal. It's just a silly little project. So I've been keeping an eye out. And this one came up and we went to see it last week. And I was like, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll buy a rundown caravan and do it up. So yeah, that's something I've done. I've bought this caravan. So she was, I'll say she. I'm gonna she. £600 plus an extra 50 to have her delivered, because I cannot tow a caravan. That's another thing. I cannot tow a caravan. But £600 seems to be watertight. I found one area that potentially is a bit damp, but it's quite small, so we're good. Definitely needs a full renovation inside. Like, there's not much in here that I want to keep. I'll do a mini tour of it in a minute. And the plan is to do what I've just said, and not really aim to take it anywhere. So I'm going to get rid of the bit that's like got the fridge, and I'm going to talk about some other parts that we might change. But we might take her out. We might take her to some caravanning places. But that's not the full idea with it yet. It could also potentially be a bit of a training, learning experience for doing our own van, because a van is something that we want. But yeah, currently living on my driveway and ready to be done up. It's going to be a slow project, don't get me wrong. It's going to be a pretty slow project because we've got a lot of other things on. But when I saw it come up, it was like the perfect size, looked in good nick, was close, and they could deliver it, and it ticked all those boxes. So I was like, I'll just get it, and it can sit here until we're ready, until I've planned it out, till I've had a bit of a think. I'll go through some ideas that I've got in a minute, but I'll give you a quick do you want a quick tour of my caravan? I've never had a caravan. Let me give you a guided tour and tell you what I know about it so far, which is actually very little. This is the door. This is where we come in. This is a 2-berth caravan, so this turns into one big bed, which is fine for what we're hoping to use it for. It's still quite a wide area, so all 4 of us would fit in there, like 2 adults and 2 small kids. Obviously not when they're older, but we'll come to that. There's a wardrobe thing here, which there's some stuff left in the cupboards. I need to come and like give it a good like clear out. There's some storage up here, storage there, storage around here. There's some bit of stuff just being left in by the previous owner, but we can just get rid of that, it's fine. There are plugs, but there's no leisure battery. There's a hookup outside. I'd like to get a leisure battery added, if I'm honest. I don't know how I do that. This is so chaotic. We'll figure it out. We're going to do it. This is the bathroom cubby, which is the only bit with like some wall that needs replacing. You can see some wires coming in. That's for the lights at the back of the caravan. They've put plasterboard there. I'm going to rip that off and put plyboard on, plywood instead. That goes through, and in fact I might remove this whole section there and the wardrobe, purely to potentially put in a couple of small bunks for the boys. I haven't fully decided on that. That was just an idea that we had. I think we're both set, both me and Adam have said that getting rid of this cabinet initially is definitely what I want to do. That would be where a fridge goes. If we go somewhere with, you know, if we go camping or something, we're used to not having a fridge, so it's not something, I'd rather have the space there, to be honest. Could replace that with drawers or something instead of having that there. There's a little kitchen area here. It's got a sink. I don't know how that works. You can cover it over with that. And this side has got a hob, again, that's hooked up to gas. We don't have a gas canister in here at the moment. There's your little hob. It's, again, not something that that I think we would need. I would prefer to have like a leisure battery and run like a hot plate or something instead of gas. I don't like gas. I don't like gas canisters. It's one of my irrational fears. But I'd rather do that. But the storage down here and stuff. She's quite old. I'm not gonna lie. She's like 30 odd years old. She must be. Yeah. There's more storagey stuff. Like I say, I need to get a bin bag and just come in here and completely empty it out. But, you know, she's pretty sound. This turns into the bed, like I said. This comes out of here. There's something that comes out of here. This one. That makes, like, the slats for the bed. I'm thinking of removing all of that and having another form of slats instead, so that folds out there, and having some slats that we just put on as and when you need it. I'd rather have a little table here. This does pull out to make a bigger table, but I think it's pretty useless. I'd rather have something bigger that can either fold down or just be removed. Lots of potential though, right? There's lots I could do with it. It just needs, at the moment, a good clean, everything else taken out of it, and some initial stuff doing, so that we could potentially just use it as a bit of a den or a cabin or an extra space over the next couple of months. These seat cushions, they look fine on the top. They're not fine. They're frayed and raggedy. So I'm going to completely redo them, and that's something I can do on my own. I don't need to have someone do that. Same with the curtains. They'll be coming down. I'll be putting some new curtains on. The walls will be getting completely redone. The roof looks alright, but I will obviously be redoing that as well at some point. Window seals all looked good. There was just a little bit of bubbling on this interior thing, but that's like inside rather than being the actual window seal. Yeah, I kind of looked at a few things that I knew to look at thanks to some advice from friends, and it seemed alright. I ideally like to get an instruction book for this model. Let me spin you around. So ideally, I need to find like the user manual for this model of Caravan, and I'm not entirely sure what the model is. It says Sprite Alpine, Sprite XL, a 2-berth. So I should be able to find something online that'll give me some advice. I'll get on some Reddit threads. It'll be fine. There's a lot to do. I'm not gonna lie. But it's a project, it's going to be an ongoing project. We'll see what comes of it. So let me give you some ideas of how I'm wanting to do it out, because that's another thing. Adam was like, oh, that's another thing. Let me talk about Adam first. He was not fully on board with me buying a Caravan, but he's green flag guy, so he was like, if you really want to get one, just get it. And now he's kind of come around a bit, and he's like asking me like, what are we going to do with it? Have you got a Pinterest board? Because I had floated the idea, and I think it's the one that's nailed on. I had floated the idea of a tiki themed van. So kind of think mid-century Hawaiian theme, leaning into like the wooden styles. It means we can keep some of the bits, but like clad it a little bit. And he seems on board with that. So I saw this image on Pinterest, and I just love the wood tone, and I love the blues and the patterns, and I think that might be quite good to kind of pop into this kind of space. I also really like the idea of some like mid-century aspects. Yeah, so that's one of the ideas that I had of the theme of the van. But obviously the first steps are going to be making sure that it's sound on the interior, clearing out what we don't want anymore, looking into the leisure battery, a tyre needs replacing. I think reupholstering these cushions will be a priority so that we can come and actually sit in here. The floor is currently carpeted, which was done by not the person we bought it off, but the previous owner. I don't want carpet in here, so I think I'll get some like wood style lino or something that can be cleaned more easily because kids and dogs. Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a fun project. It's getting very warm in here. It's just going to be a bit of a fun project, something that we can take our time with. I say we, me, Adam will help, he'll be fine. Something I can take my time with that's not work, that is just something fun, something that we can all enjoy as well, whether at home or out and about. Bit of a chill space. It will be nice to have a different dry quiet space for me to film videos in, or for Adam to do some work hauls in, because he's always at the kitchen table when I'm in the office. The Wi-Fi does, I think, the Wi-Fi should potentially extend out here. If not, we might have to just get an extender. But yeah, just something fun. Just a little project. Don't want to spend a ton on it either, so I don't want to sink a load of cash into it. So I will be trying to find the cheapest ways of doing things, scouring Marketplace. I'm thinking if we do go the tiki theme, that like bamboo furniture and stuff off Marketplace, ripped apart for bits to clad the walls might work. Just spitballing here, like I have no real idea. It's going to be a chaotic project. It's going to be so chaotic. I'm sure I can do it. I will learn things along the way. I'm such a believer in learning whilst you're doing a project, rather than trying to learn something and then do a project. I think you have to learn on the job. So maybe this is the learning curve to doing a full van conversion, which is something that we've looked at and thought of in the past but just haven't taken the plunge. But a £600 caravan, it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, it's fine. I can't make it any worse. So yeah, I'm going to be vlogging the whole thing. I will vlog the entire process, so you are seeing it. It got delivered. They delivered it for me yesterday afternoon because I would not have been able to get in my driveway. So it got delivered yesterday, and I will be vlogging the entire journey. I will be vlogging the initial tear out of stuff, the choices that I'm going to make, thoughts about layout. So if you want to follow along, whether to see how I do it or to just see if I can do it and want just to look at this chaotic project, then make sure to subscribe. It's completely free to subscribe. Give this video a like, and I will see you in the next chaotic caravan vlog. Yeah, let's go. Bye!